Hi, everybody. Hasn't this been an amazing 2 weeks? I'm blown away. That's all it is. And I'll let you into a secret that next General Assembly, we're not going to call it a General Assembly. We're going to call it a Women in Science Festival, because hasn't this been just an amazing festival? Now, this session, which I'm going to chair, is a wrap up. We've got members of the Executive Board who are going to chat, and also some of the women who chaired sessions, and then some of the women who've just been commenting a lot. So I'm going to start off giving you a little overview of my take on the 2 weeks. I'm leaving the Tuesday and the COVID one to Rana, who chaired that session. I'm going to start with Wednesday, the basic science for development, and that amazing talk from Fabiola Gianotti from CERN. And I just want to talk about one thing, the whole question of using the terms developed or developing. Actually, what do we mean? Because look, take, for instance, Italy. It's clearly a developed country. But if Italy isn't developing, then it's regressing. So how do we say developed or developing if developed still have to be developing? So it's a conundrum. I suppose we could say rich countries and poor countries, but I don't think that's very appropriate. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out. What about basic research for development? The point is that all research solves problems, and they might not be practical at the time. You just don't know it. And in fact, there's only good or bad science when it comes down to it. My field is on genetically modified crops, and I'm definitely an applied scientist, because I'm developing potentially drought-tolerant maize for Africa. And in the person who laid the groundwork for our research was the guy who found out about enzymes that can cut DNA in a particular way so you can splice it together. And his name is Werner Aber. He got the Nobel Prize, and I worked in his lab for a while. And he told me that, he was just messing around in the lab. He was looking at bacteria and the viruses that attack them, and how the bacteria protect themselves from these viruses. And blow me down, he discovered the enzymes that do all the work for us. So he certainly wasn't in an applied field, but who knows what's going to come of it. But I do have to say that one of the speakers in one of the sessions said, of course, we've got to have basic science. If we only have applied science, we'll only be left with technicians. Well, I'm an applied scientist and I'm not a technician, and nor are the people working in my lab. So obviously we need both. And the basic of, interestingly enough, the basic research often needs more and more sophisticated equipment. And even as I remember, when I was a postdoc at Harvard, I was doing DNA sequencing, and boy, it was tough. We really struggled in those very early days. I'm talking about 1975, so we're going back a while. And of course, this technology has helped us in identifying new strains of COVID. So highly applied, but very basic to start with. Then on Thursday, we had Beena Agarwal from India talking about rethinking farming. And because my work is in agriculture, I was really, really taken with it. And of course, one of the big problems is limited water. I know that. Cape Town, where I live, I'm at the University of Cape Town, and we had a drought in Cape Town, and we nearly had day zero when no water would come out of the taps anywhere. But we managed to prevent that. But the thing is that all aspects of climate change, including water, affects smallholder farmers more than commercial farmers. And Beena gave a wonderful talk about how we need to use things like drip irrigation and IT ways to improve our farmers. And one of the things she said the solution are cooperatives, and that she went into that a great deal. Then there was a session with OWSD members. Is your research making a difference to your community? and Dr. Chow from Kenya was fascinating. She was talking about how do you actually determine whether your mentoring is doing any good? Because let's see if mentoring works. And so so she's doing that, which is amazingly interesting. And then Pratava Pandey from Nepal was talking about how you can use waste from the citrus industry to help cosmetics. And it's remarkable. She actually gave me some at one of the early careers. She's an early career fellow, and she gave me some of her exfoliant, and boy, is it fantastic. And of course, it's biodegradable. So that's magnificent. And then came Atia Kapli from India, who works on wastewater remediation and treats all this water so that it can be used in industry and in agriculture to decrease the use of potable water so that potable water can be used for drinking. And then there was Babalola from Africa, Nigeria, and working now in South Africa, working on soil microbes to produce biological fertilizers. And then on Friday, we had the storytelling. And wasn't that magnificent? And that was Adele and Joy from Kenya talking about podcasts. And then we had Nicole from Trieste talking about filmmaking. And I do hope everybody took terrific notice, because that's how you tell people about your research, by putting it out there in those kind of media. And then on Monday and Tuesday, we had the posters. And first of all, the importance of basic science, and then importance of applied science. And I wandered among the posters, and it was great fun. I sort of went incognito and could chat to various people. And it was absolutely wonderful to chat with the authors. And then on Wednesday, we had How Science Got Women Wrong. And we had Angela Saini, the author of a book of that name, and she was in conversation with Kurt Rice. Now, Kurt is the rector of the Oslo Metropolitan Museum and leader of the Committee on Gender Balance and Diversity in Research. I must just say that one of the first things when I became president at in my last term was I made membership open to social scientists, and also under certain circumstances men, because we can't do without men. And just look, here is a rector of a university really taking huge amount of care about gender balances. And one of the things they were discussing was the leaders of universities and research institutes often need a little nudge, just to show them how much better their centers of excellence could be if they had men and women leading them, and that we need a balance, obviously. And so, yes, a little nudge to say, how about the women? And then the climate change, talking about that, living on less. And that was very interesting about developed and developing countries, because the comments there were, we in developed countries, or whoever is in developed countries, can learn a lot from developing countries. Because as somebody from India was saying, in those countries, you can't waste anything. So everything goes and recycles and reused and everything. So the developed countries, which throw away a lot of very valuable food and other matter, can learn a lot from the developing countries. And then, of course, we had a discussion on sexual harassment, which I'm not going to mention too much about that. And then the discussion was led by Elizabeth Politzer, who runs Porsche in the UK and runs the Gender Summits, which I've been to quite a lot with some of our OWSD members, and also our the wonderful staff we have at the OWSD. I mean, I just want to say, without the staff, I mean, they are brilliant. And, they're actually short-staffed at the moment. And what they've done in these 2 weeks, it's just amazing. So let's always remember the OWSD staff who are working their butts off in Trieste. And so now I want to turn over to some of the other members of our team here to tell you about their experiences over the last few weeks. And I'm going to first ask Clancy. Clancy is the new executive member from Latin America and the Caribbean. So Clancy, hello Clancy, lovely to see you. Can you tell us a little bit about your take?
Thank you very much. I have to say, Jennifer, that your enthusiasm is contagious. We are all really happy. There are so many lessons and interactions, and it's really wonderful, as you said, all that happen in different formats, the posters, the keynotes, and the guest speakers. So we are very happy, and we are also thrilled that the Latin American region had a very robust participation with the national chapters. We have a very, very nice year, and I wonder how many meetings do we have, because in fact, I would like just to emphasize three major messages that we would like to share from the Latin American perspective. The first one is we do have debates and discussions about a probable dilemma between applied research and basic research, because in our region we have limited resources, financing, science, and of course the gender gap that we face. So we have this debate if research and science should be that, like, trying to move the frontier a bit more, but always keeping in mind the pressing and complex problematic we have to solve, in health and in education. So the purpose and especially the social impact of the research we are making the effort to produce with all the challenges that we have. That's the first message. The second is the scientific diaspora. We talked about this in different spaces, especially in the in poster sessions. We talked about how to engage the Latin American female women science diaspora, because we've been training our human workforce in many different universities around the world, and we want to make a difference back in our home countries. And the third is the importance of keeping open the dialogue within the Latin America and the Caribbean region, because we have Central America with six countries, but we also have South America with many different features in common, and the Caribbean. So we want to bring closer these three kind of sub-regions within our Latin American region. But we are very excited of what's coming and all the lessons that we got from the conference and from this festivity to echo your recommendation. It's not that only a conference, but it's a celebration of how women in all our regions are engaging in science and research.
Thank you so much, Clancy. It's lovely to see you and your baby. So now I'm going to turn to another member of the Executive Board, and that is Anupama. Anupama, are you ready to talk? Anupama, are you there? Otherwise, Atia? Atia, right. Hello, Atia. Great to see you.
Hi, Jennifer. So good to see you. And I really should agree with Clancy. You gave us such an enthusiastic start to this session. We really had a wonderful week. And I actually really agree with you. I love the term, calling it now a festival, a Women in Science festival, because that's exactly what we've been doing and behaving like as if it is a wonderful festival, which it was actually. And so for that, I would like to thank the team behind it, the OWSD Secretariat and everybody involved, including Underline and everyone who's involved in it. And the best part is even the Secretariat, members, they did not even stop answering our queries, even though you did feel bad about badgering them, but when you had to ask them something, they right away replied. So I really congratulate them for all their patience and hard work. We had a good number of interesting presentations, and I would like to highlight what Dr. Beena said, about rethinking the way we farm, especially because India is an agricultural country, and I'm sure many of the developing nations have a very primary focus on agriculture. So she brought out very nicely what kind of economic criteria that are there, other than of course the conditions of like availability of water and so many things like that. But she also brought into her talk about how the economics can be adjusted and improved when you have women, how women should learn to participate more, and we need to consider how to restructure everything to make it a profitable way to farm. At the end of the day, it is the economics that is important. So she gave a really wonderful talk. And then we had a panel discussion of which I was a part of. So I would like to talk a little about that in detail. It was so wonderfully moderated by Joy. Oh my God, she did such a good job. It was so seamless. I mean, it was like she just knew all of us even before, even though we were meeting for the first time on the platform. But she had very good questions for us, and some of the things that emerged were what is really needed now to take us forward. The pandemic has really taught us a lot of lessons, and the most important also is to be self-sustainable, because everybody had a lot of crisis, during the pandemic, not only health but also otherwise, because many people couldn't go to work, and so a lot of things like that. So women role in building up entrepreneurships, when you have saturated all the what should I say, positions at universities, hardly people are hiring. And then where do all the new graduates who are coming out go? Where do the PhD scholars go and find jobs? So the government of all of the countries should actually focus on encouraging entrepreneurships. Science to society is an extremely important path, and that is something that very importantly should be done. And I also saw Erin posting some of the messages from the people around who were watching the program. So this was also echoed with the viewers. And
Thank you very
yeah, so I just want to also say now, just thank you to everybody, and thank you, Jennifer, for giving me an opportunity to express what I would, my take home message as such.
super. And now we will have Anupama. Thanks, Atya. Hi, Anupama. How are you doing?
Uh, Hello, are you hearing?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, first of all, many thanks to Jennifer and all the OWSD team, and also the Vice President and President of all regions to have a so nice explanations on everything and have a nice, very good General Assembly. I am from a developing country, and here many of us, we are here to work together with a team, that we can have a no difference between man and woman, and what are the sufficient resources is available for the developed country. It should be migrated, not only the knowledge, also everything in the developing countries. And I first say that our OWSD General Assembly has covered through all the things, like from the basic science to the research, and how the research changed the lives. And not only that, it's really goes, that is how it goes ultimately to sustainable goal, which is actively we are working the OWSD. The first thing I must say, we are living in a patriarchal society. What the Atya said, Jennifer says, Clancy said, that we are always fighting for the women. and for the world, for the society. We are working together, and we are thinking that if through OST, through this kind of assembly, through this kind of many workshops, and we can do something for the betterment of the world. And we have to come forward through this our inspirational words from the Jennifer, from the team, and from Atia Cleansey. I think this is a very important for us that we should go work together. And it's my one voice that teamwork is the best work. And these we are the small people and very few number of people, but these few numbers will work as a great work, collaborative work through all the regions which we have in OWSD. This is a very, very good structures, very, very good activities, and very more opportunities in OST where we can tell through our missions and visions of the sustainable goals to the young generations. So I must thanks to the Jennifer and all the teams, all the vice presidents, all the members to have with us. And we are very, very good team. And I think in the next term, we will do something and which also drive from the lectures and of things, of course, from the OS General
Thanks very much, Anupama. And thanks very much. And now I'm going to call on one of the one of the women who've just been commenting to a great extent. And we just asked her to come and chat with us a bit. So it's Kioma Carey. Can you come on? Great. Hello.
Yes,
Good
I'm
to
here. Good
you.
afternoon from Nigeria, Jennifer. This is Chioma Blaze Chikere. I'm a lecturer at the University of Port Harcourt, Nigeria, in the Department of Microbiology. Interestingly, I'm equally an OWSD PhD fellowship alumna. I got mine in 2005, and it's sustainable at the University of Pretoria. It's been a wonderful time. Listening to great women in science telling us about how we need to speak up and speak out and stand up for ourselves. And I've been so much encouraged, even during the poster session. One of the scientists that came to my poster session interacted with me. She had a baby, a 9-month-old baby, and the baby was trying to get her attention while I was discussing with her. So she tried to be apologetic. Please, I shouldn't get offended with the background noise coming from the baby. I encouraged her. I said, please, I'm a mom of 4 kids, and I've been disrupted by childbearing, maternity leaves. But in everything, I count it all joy, because my kids, whether they are in the womb, whether I'm carrying them as a nursing mom, I move with them in my science. I remember in 2017, I was given a twice UNESCO fellowship. I was at the University of South Africa for 2 months. Coming back after my fellowship, I took in for my 4th baby, and I couldn't complete the second visit to UNISA. So I know what it means to be a mom in science with all the disruptions. So I tried to encourage her. And suffice it to say that after the encouragement, she asked for my email address. She mailed me and asked me to be her mentor, that I really inspired her. She just finished her master's. She has a 9-month-old baby, and she picked a form for her PhD. She was asking me, how do I cope? And I told her that the kids will come, family will come, responsibilities will come, but always believe in yourself. Push yourself beyond your limits. As we are rising, we pull other women along with us to lift them up and to equally share our success stories. Not that we are always winning. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we are disrupted, but in all, believe in yourself and you can do it. Thank you so much from Nigeria.
Thank you so much, and lovely to see your baby there. Thanks very
Yes,
much.
the children are here. My husband is equally here. We are just driving back from school to pick the children. So science is, for me, is a collective responsibility. I have a very robust support from my family, my husband, my children. I equally motivate them because I want to be a role model that my children will look up to. All of them, they want to be scientists. So they see me win, they see me move, they see me participate in conferences, and they are inspired. to equally do well in the academics. Thank you so much for this wonderful
Thank you
opportunity.
so much.
OWSD PhD Fellowship has really given me the launch pad that has made me visible and discoverable in the scientific community. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you. And now I'm going to call on Joy Owango. Remember, she was the one who talked about the storytelling and how to make podcasts, and she's fabulous. Hello, Joy. Lovely to see you. Can
Lovely
you give
to
us
see
an
you too.
overview?
Oh, thank you. First of all, just connecting with what Chioma said, I understand some of the challenges she's facing about, you have to balance with the children, and it's a disruption, but it's a beautiful disruption. You just have to put systems in place. They may be disrupted, but it's all about building a family that works for you. So as her child was in the car, I had to take mine to the sandpit. So he's happily playing in the sandpit after he begged on my door to come into the study. Now, about what we talked about, researchers need to understand the importance of looking at the next step beyond writing papers. And the reality today is that funders there are metrics that have been created to measure these science communication outputs. So funders are looking at the trail from when they gave you the money to the scientific output that you produced, now also the science communication outputs. And the metrics that exist include how you interact, how people interact with those science communication outputs. So whether there'll be podcasts, there'll be tweets or Facebook updates, videos. And that is why I was so excited about the session on using film to do your stories, because that is measured as well. And what excited me so much is that the researchers were keen to understand that there are new ways to communicate your work, and also the reality of the fact that they're open access. Most of these solutions are open access. All you need is your computer, you need a microphone, and that's it. Even some of the editing solutions are open access. And we also highlighting the not so glamorous aspect of it, because it involves a lot of back end work, but it is also the empowering aspect relating to being in control of your narrative. And that is really important as women researchers. Sharing your story, being in control of your narrative. Most of us are caregivers or are mothers, and we need to humanize that process. And with that humanization, you're encouraging more women to take part to get involved in the research process. So the highlights for me was the fact that it was an aha moment for most of the researchers, knowing that there is minimal expenditure in preparation of podcasts, the empowerment that came with being in control of the narrative, and also the emphasis on the fact that they are now metrics on measuring science communication outputs. The so what factor has a measuring scale associated with it, and funders are looking at it, and that would help in encouraging any future collaborations. So that was really exciting to see, to share with the audience on the 12th, when it came to understanding the use of podcasts and how they can use podcasts to share their research output. Jennifer?
Thank you very much. And you gave us such a wonderful live demonstration that I'm sure a lot of people said, oh, we'll just go home and do that. And thanks for that. So, Joy, you're all star. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. And next up, let's have Dina. Dina, are you up to having a chat? Dina was one of the women who commented. Hi, Dina.
Hi, Jennifer. I'm really
Lovely
glad
to
to be
meet
here.
you.
And really, your energy is contagious for sure.
We've got plenty of time, so don't
Yeah.
rush.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was really inspired by this, by the General Assembly. All sessions were very useful. And through my excitement, I just had to share and comment as much as I could on Twitter as well as on the platform. I really relate well to the session on basic sciences. Being an applied scientist myself, I really now through the General Assembly was able to understand better the importance of linking applied sciences to basic sciences. I recall what Jennifer said earlier, that you develop a theory through basic sciences, but you don't know when it will be used. But really, as applied scientists, we really need to relate our work to the basic sciences to ensure the continuity of what we do and also to improve the work we do. And I'm really thankful of this opportunity. Being an early career fellow under the OWSD, I really relate well to the session that was done by Joy and Nicole on storytelling for impact. I'm really one of the beneficiaries of this of the impact through the early career fellowship program. I worked with Nicole in Tanzania, and we really took we were able to tell a story that even non-scientists could follow the work, because I was really struggling. How do I explain my work on artificial intelligence to a farmer? How they are going to benefit from the work? But really, through storytelling, there is a great impact, and the visibility I obtained from this work, working with Nicole on storytelling about my research, has really had a very big impact. So I'm really grateful of this assembly, and all the sessions that were shared were very useful. And also, I really want to congratulate the OWSD Secretariat for all the work they've done on making this. The fact that we had live
Fantastic.
streaming on YouTube, will definitely be able to follow it even beyond the conference. So really, really grateful. Thank you.
So Dina, you were an early career fellow. Which year were you awarded?
Yeah, 2019. Yeah.
Okay, isn't it a
Yes.
fantastic award?
It was amazing. I mean, it will take. I will take all the remaining time explaining the benefits I've gained from the early career fellowship program. Really, it's an amazing and a lifetime experience being a fellow with
Oh,
early
fantastic!
career fellow. Yes.
And
Yeah.
the film that was made about you, how have you been able to use it?
Actually, it has enabled me to really work on different platforms. And among the benefits that I've also been able to obtain is also I've been able to obtain two more grants
Really?
after the early career fellowship. And I was always citing the video when I was applying for the grants. So it has a very big impact. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for all your involvement. We need people to give us feedback to know how it's going. So we do
Excellent.
appreciate it very much, Dina. Thank
Thank
you a
you
lot.
very much. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's see, who should we have next? What about Fortunate? Is Fortunate here?
Yes, I am here.
Great.
Wow. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope you are hearing me clearly.
Absolutely. Loud and clear, Fortunate. I have to
Yes,
tell you
thank
something about Fortunate. On our 25th anniversary, we had special events at different national chapters. And the last one that I attended in that year was in Zimbabwe, in Harare. And I often talked about our baby because, they were the newest one of the year to be celebrating. And blow me down, at the dance when we were celebrating at the end, they gave me the fantastic Zimbabwean carvings that are so wonderful, of a mother and baby. and it sits in pride of place on my piano in my living room. So thank you for
Wow.
that, Fortunate. It was such an exciting day.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prof. Thank you very much. I'm just grateful to be part of this panel. I just want to tell you something that is very interesting. The previous speaker, Dina Machuwe, we met in 2015 in Tanzania, where she was also a lecturer there, and I had gone to attend a training. And now we are meeting again here, and she hosted us so well, but we didn't know that we were going to meet again under OWSD. So it's an honor, and it's something that is teaching me that you should live well, you should stay well with other people, because definitely one day you will meet them, and it's good to meet each other while you are still in good books. So I just want to thank you very much for organizing this nice sixth General Assembly. As for me, OWSD is like in my bloodstream, because I just want to tell you something, that when I applied for my PhD in 2017, then I got a place in South Africa. I then tried to apply for the fellowship, but I had already started my PhD. But I didn't stop there. I then realized that in 2018, I saw that Zimbabwe had no national chapter. That's when I said, no, let me try to spearhead this formation of the national chapter. So after even spearheading the formation of the national chapter, I then also went on to mobilize Zambia, Malawi, Namibia, Mozambique to also have their national chapters in place. So from this General Assembly, I just learned that we should network, especially on the session of mentorship. It really, really encouraged me, and it's something that actually came to encourage me that as OWSD members, even those who are in executive committees, you should understand that it's not about us, but it's about other upcoming scientists, especially the talk that was given on the first day. It really motivated me that we really need to mentor others, we really need to motivate others again. And also, the session on climate change, it really set well in my work, because currently I am also doing renewable energy training here in Zimbabwe, so of which I am also mobilizing women to take part in the renewable energy sector. And also the other important thing that I took home is about report inequalities and ethics and protocols. I have also seen that as women, there is a gap in that, especially in reporting in the scientific arena. And also Amira spoke well on the criteria for ranking, especially in the universities, and also funding. So it's actually something that I have seen, that especially as women in science, we should also try to be able to develop quality proposal that also attract funding. At the moment, as Zimbabwe National Chapter as well, we have managed to collaborate with an organization called AfriSearch, which is funded by the US Embassy, to come up with a mentorship program whereby we will be having training for mentors, and also mentors will be assigned to 2 mentees, each of which OWSD is actively involved. Then also, I was also motivated by Elizabeth, who spoke about gender bias, implicity, in the scientific research. So it actually motivates me again to say, truly speaking, there is gender bias, especially in the scientific arena. But at the same time, as OWSD is supporting all the national chapters to speak out and also to be bold enough, it's something that we should not look down upon ourselves. So with that, I can say this was a great event, and it's actually made us to connect with different nationalities, actually like networking together, and it really motivates me. As also the other topic on storytelling, as Zimbabwe, we have organized also an event on local hub or WSD, which is happening tomorrow, and we have also a segment on storytelling, and it's going to be a blast in Zimbabwe. So far, we had about 102 women in science and also school children that have already signed up for tomorrow's event, and we are looking forward to support OWSD initiatives here in Zimbabwe and in the African region. I thank you.
Fortunate, you're an absolute inspiration to us all. So all strength to you. Fortunate mentioned the what's happening tomorrow, which is the national chapters. It's a hybrid event, so when local chapters are getting together, and then we can join in. So we're really looking forward to that session tomorrow. And all strength to you, Fortunate. Thanks very much.
Oh, thank you,
Thanks.
Jennifer.
New member of our executive board. And now I'm going to ask Ariadne Garza. Ariadne is one of the other people who has just commented a lot. And Ariadne, how lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on board.
Hello, Jennifer. I'm so excited. I never thought I would have the chance to express my gratitude for such a wonderful organization. And I also want to thank all my colleagues that have very genuinely share her experience with me. I had the chance to talk with some of them in the poster sessions. So it has been the whole experience very, very nice, very warming, it has a place in my heart. And I think I'm very excited about the initiatives of the OWSD because I'm from Mexico, and I'm working as a professor researcher in the Universidad Autónoma de Campeche. I have seen lots of very talented women with dreams of becoming scientists, but their dreams have come short because there are many things against us as it has been mentioned in all the discussions here. So it's part of my personal objective, to prepare the following women scientists. And I think this kind of organizations and these kind of events are keeping the way for them a little bit easier. It was not easy for me. It was very tough. I didn't have resources. I didn't have the fundings that nowadays are devoted exclusively for women. But I think the things are improving. I think the conditions for women are much better. And I'm very happy because I think if we want to share a world of where everybody is considered, women need to be in those positions. Women need to have the knowledge. We need women scientists. And well, I want to express my gratitude to recognize that the OWSD have been the space for discussions of very difficult topics, but also has produced a space for mentorship. And I think the coming years are going to be much better because there are many more girls scientists involved in these goals. And finally, I'm thinking about your first idea about we don't want to go there without men. And I 100% sure that I don't want my students to be scientists without the men in their lives. They need to be part of. So we're working for that world where women and men are treated in the same way, and we have the opportunity to succeed in all the ways that we want. Thank you very much, and I'm very happy to be part of this.
Thank you, Ariadne. We so appreciate all your inputs and your feedback. So it's very lovely to have you on board. Thank you. I've just, in the chat room, I'm just seeing, are we going to see Ivan? Are we going to hear from Ivan? Or am I just going to wrap up? Okay, I'm just going to wrap up. I have to tell you something that's just happened to me recently, where I can use the platform to spread the gospel of OWSD, spread the word of OWSD. In Saudi Arabia next February, there's going to be a meeting of Nobel laureates and winners of international prizes, which I guess is where I fitted in. And we've been invited to spend 3 days and come up with 10 interventions that can be done over the next 10 years to improve the situation of humankind on Earth. It sounds very, very ambitious, but they obviously invited me for my science, but they don't know that I'm president of OWSD. So they're in for a surprise. They're in for a great surprise when I will be telling them the importance of women. I must just tell you that just before the 2019, I was invited to Vienna to speak at the anti-nuclear bomb testing. I can't remember the name. Tonya will remember it. But they're based in Vienna, and they invited me to represent OWSD on a panel discussion. And then at the very last minute, they said, no, we actually want you to be on the opening panel with people like Ban Ki-moon. Though at the end he couldn't come, but it was that sort of a caliber. So I said, why me? And they said, well, if women ran the world, we wouldn't have to have an anti-nuclear bomb treaty. So it was anti-nuclear testing. That's the name. Thank you, Tonya. But it just shows, you know, that people are starting to realize that, I mean, here is the head of CERN, who spoke on the Wednesday, Fabiola Gianotti, and she was the first woman, and she was so successful that they appointed her for a second term. And it never, first of all, she was the first woman head, and secondly, no other director had ever done 2 terms. So it just shows. And in my own career, I was also appointed time and again as head of department, because we just do things better and more, not better, I shouldn't say better, but more inclusively. And I think that's what we need. We inclusive, we embrace all people, and men and women, and that's why we need the men. So I know it's a bit earlier than we were supposed to end, but I think unless anybody else has got something very pressing to say, I'm just going to close this session and thank everybody for all their wonderful contributions and the fact that they've stayed the course. And here we are on the second last day. And tomorrow, as I said, is the hybrid with the national chapters. And then right at the end, I will be making a few closing comments and talking again that this is a festival, not just a general assembly and a conference. It's a festival. So thank you very much, everybody, for all your participation. And I'm going to sign off now. Bye now.